But we now move along, staying in the NBA. We did a little All-Star weekend preview on was it Friday? Was it Friday's show? I think it was
Right,
Friday. We're
right,
doing shows on every day of the week seemingly at this point on a marvelous Monday today. But we'll take a look
marvelous.
back. We'll take a look back at some of the festivities that happened. You had a surprise in the 3-point shootout. I'd say the big fella, Karl Anthony Towns, pretty impressive performance, winning that one. Then you had Obi Toppin in the dunk contest, and I'm sure we'll cover that in depth. You had the who won the Cleveland Cavaliers trio of was it Mobley, was it
Mobley and
Garland and Allen?
Allen. Yep.
Okay, so those guys won the skills challenge. You said Team Rick Barry won the Rising Stars, and then of
Right.
course in the All Star game itself, LeBron James himself, as we talked about last segment, hit a walk off shot. In Cleveland, Steph Curry had 50 points and 16 threes or something crazy, so he was letting it fly. With all that said, Drink, just go ahead and tell us about it and what stood out to you on this All Star weekend.
Um, I was ecstatic. I had a good little, run this weekend. I only missed one event that I actually put in a vote for, which was the 3-point competition. So I took me a little partial victory lap. But, you know what? Let me talk about what didn't stick out. The celebrity game didn't stick out until I seen this guy kind of, can I say, I don't know, sportsmanship. That's what I call it. He reached back and was at the free throw line. He reached back, sportsmanship. If you know what I mean, just
Okay.
Google.
I did see that. I did see that.
So a little bit of sportsmanship there, and then fast forward to the skills competition was good. So I'm not gonna knock on that. I'm gonna tell you what I wasn't a fan of either, Jay. So after the 3-point contest, before the dunk contest, they had this performance with DJ Khaled,
Yeah.
and
Yeah. Oh man.
I just felt like the NBA was like, hey man, let's find who's not doing anything, throw them with a little chicken, and they could have kept it. I mean, they had one guy, the rapper Gunner, out there with like snow boxing gloves on, like it's snowing inside the arena. I didn't know what was going on there. DJ Khaled, I don't know if he was like working on his cardio. Lil Wayne comes out there, he spit a verse. I don't know. I was just a little perplexed. The NBA could have did a little better, but I do like that the NBA, they're always urban. They keep it, close to the culture. So I do respect the NBA for that. You could have just gave me another year of J. Cole. I think I would have been happy. Like that was not what J. Cole did. Like it was total opposite. It was a bunch going on now. The dunk contest. That had to be the worst dunk contest I'd probably seen in my life. That was awful. I mean, Jalen Green got 42 attempts to make this somewhat simple dunk. And let me phrase this by saying it's easy for me to say it's simple because I'm not out there. But whether it's super complex or not, you had way too many attempts, my man. All the judges are looking like, yo, sometime today, even the TNT broadcasters like Kenneth Smith and Dwayne Wade and all them, they was just like, yo man, how many attempts? Like as I remember, I thought you get three attempts per dunk, and then after that you get whatever the bottom line score is. And this was a drag. Not only that, that's just Jalen Green. You got Cole Anthony damn near putting the crowd to sleep because it takes him 30 minutes to put on a pair of Timbs. Like, why am I waiting for you to put on Timbs? Like, I got it. It's entertainment. But the dunk contest already is not that interesting. And then for the people that is interested in it, we got to sit here and watch. Okay. So then he put on the Timbs. And I mean, it was a cool dunk. I mean, people are like, oh man, it's Tim's though, bro. It's Tim. Like, listen, go to New York. It's people in Rutgers Park or somewhere in New York or Connecticut in that area playing basketball with Tim's on right now. That's what they do. Like, come on, man. It's not that crazy. When you're from that northern, eastern part of the United States, they probably looked at that and said, what's taking him so long? Why he didn't jump higher? Because they're used to doing that all the time. Little southern guy like me, yeah, I'm amazed by that. Like, God, this dude got on Tim's, he out here balling. But that we don't do that down south. But they definitely do that in the northeast. So I don't know. I don't know why it was. If it was amazing enough. If it is, if I can get somebody from the northeast to tell me why that was so amazing and how is that different from Jimmy Bo Nix over there playing his Tims at the Rutgers. And then, Obi Toppin, he ended up winning the event, which I did call it, but even like he had a dunk where he needed 32 attempts, and it was just, oh my God, it was just awful. So I passed on that. That was awful. I think in this All-Star weekend, I think it's a strong case that the I don't know who would like recommend this to the commissioner. I just say the NBA. But when do we change the order of things and go ahead and make the 3-point competition the crown and jewel of Saturday night? Because that dunk contest, it was damn near unwatchable. It was borderline unwatchable. It was NFL Pro Bowl level stuff here, just damn near unwatchable. And the 3-point competition was good because you had one center shooting in the 3-point competition, and that one center won. Not only that, he like broke a record with like 29 in one round. Like who's not signing up for that? Who don't want to see that? All these guards, all these forwards, and then the one center, Karl Anthony Towns, which he had a plus 1,300 odds to win. So he was supposed to do awful. Awful. Think about that. $100 get you $1,400. That was his odds. I'm just saying. Like, he was supposed to do awful. He won. That just show you, like, how more, like, to me, competitive it is with the 3-point. And I got it. All you're asking them to do is shoot 3 points. I got that. They need to do something about that dunk contest. Move it. Make it. I don't know. It's like I told you, Jay. It's hard to create like something new when we just seen so much. It's so hard. So I get that. But what I don't get is why it take you so long to finish the deal. Either make the dunk or not. Move on. All right. So moving on. Like I said, I called that too. The over top and winning the dunk contest. I had Fred VanVleet in the 3-point contest. Yeah, my man did the second worst behind Zach LaVine. That wasn't it either. To the All-Star game itself, look, we seen Steph Curry win the MVP, 50 points. And what I like the most about it is, so Steph had tweeted out like incentives for what he do in the game. If I hit this many threes, I donate 1,000. If I, win MVP. Long story short, it ended up he's gonna give $108,000 to the charity that I forgot the name of the charity, but it's some charity that he's gonna donate $108,000 because with all his stats combined, that's what it came out to be. So kudos to him. The fact that he won MVP, the fact that LeBron James hit the game winner with seemed to be his signature move now, right in the mid-range, float over, a little step back, fade away, and it seemed to be money, so he won the game with that. And I thought, back to the last segment when we was talking about LeBron James sending a message, I thought this game was LeBron sending a message almost to like Rob Pelinka, like, listen, I know I'm the oldest guy out here, but I still got the juice. You see what I can do with some talent. You see what I can do from a leadership standpoint. Like, bro, we can still win something if you help me out here. That's why I thought he made this statement, just because how he was playing in that game and how he was interacting, whatnot. And also, this kind of didn't have anything to do with All-Star Weekend, but it was part of All-Star Weekend. The NBA 75 team got celebrated as well yesterday. And I thought it was really great to see like the likes of like Michael Jordan and LeBron embracing. And you had I seen a frame where like it had Joel Embiid Allen Iverson and Dr. J in the frame, and they was embracing. And then even when I seen Paul Pierce and KG act like they didn't see Ray Allen when he got announced, and LeBron right next to him giving them a handshake and all that. I thought that was really cool to see those different generations. Even Michael Jordan goes up to Magic Johnson and say, hey, I got some sneakers out in the car. You want to play one-on-one right quick? Like, and he looked at dead serious too. He looked at serious as hell. Like, I think he really wanted to play one-on-one with Magic Johnson. But you got to see like the older generation with the new generation, they celebrating. And I want to say, man, that's bad business for those players that should have been there and that wasn't there for a legit reason. I ain't talking about like the Kevin Durant's of the world where he had to go, lost his grandma, God rest her soul. That was legit, but like you had guys that just didn't show up for whatever reason. Even James Harden showed up, and he decided not to play in the All-Star game. But when you make a list that prestigious, if you don't have a legitimate reason, show some respect, man. Like, show some respect to all the players that didn't make that list that wanted to be on that list. You on there, man. Show up and celebrate this accomplishment and do your thing. Like, I just know it was, rumored a lot of players didn't show up for whatever reason. They didn't want to be there. They didn't think it was important, whatever. And I thought that was kind of disrespectful and spit. It was kind of like a slap in the face of like legends before them that didn't have this opportunity because the NBA wasn't what it is today. So, but either way, I thought the All 75 team celebration was beautiful. I enjoyed seeing that. So yeah, man. Those are my biggest takeaways from NBA All-Star Weekend.
Oh, full disclosure, I did not on Saturday. I was in Elizabeth City most of the day calling some prime time Sky AA basketball. It was really entertaining. It was a really good time. It went swimmingly, in case you were wondering. I think I might have a career in the future.
Yeah.
Apart from this podcast, if you believe it.
Yeah.
But so I get home or get back to where I'm staying, and I turn it on. I was like, oh man, let me see what's going on. The first thing I see is Karl-Anthony Towns not missing. And like at the time, I think my wife's looking at me and she's holding that baby. And I'm pretty sure I was supposed to be like going upstairs to do something. And Cat starts shooting, and I'm just like just watching after the first couple racks, and he ain't missed yet. And I'm like, my mouth's just wide open. I'm like, he ain't missed a shot. And then I watched the whole round like that, and I was just counting the misses. And then the round ends, I'm like, man, that was pretty good. And then the contest keeps going. He wins it, and so what I saw at first when I turned it on was like, man, this is good. Maybe I should tune in more often, because I did say last week the NBA All-Star Weekend I think is the best thing smoking out of any of these other sports. Like, miss me with the Pro Bowl. I do like the home run derby, but most of the all-star games in themselves, like, it's just an exhibition. Dudes out there loafing around. Nobody's, playing defense. It just, especially in the NBA, it almost, I go Harry Potter on you. It looked like these dudes just out here playing Quidditch and just flying through the air, except Jokic, I guess. He just stuck on the ground or whatever he's doing. Didn't bring his broomstick or whatever. But the three-point shootout, I agree with you. I've thought for several years it's been the main event because that's the event that draws the big names. Lately, I don't know, man, it feel like the past decade, you just don't get the big names in the dunk contest. But before I get there, since you brought it up, and I hadn't even thought of this, but like, so after I see the final round of the three-point contest, when Cat beats Luke Kennard and Trae Young, then I'm like, oh man, that was great. Let's see what these young guys got in the dunk contest. And then next thing I know, like, I turn over, I'm like, what is happening? And DJ Khaled's just like yelling at me, and I'm like, what is going on here? And then of course, here comes the show with Lil Wayne and was Mary J. Blige out there, just a bunch of other people. And I'm like, I don't know what this isn't entertaining to me. And maybe it's because I'm a white dude and I just don't listen to hip hop as much as I used to. But like, I'm just watching it. I'm like, this doesn't sound good. Can we just please fast forward through the circus or whatever this is and get to the dunks, please? And I get it. And Drake, I get it. It's a show. It's part of its entertainment value. It's a big party. Right. I understand. Right. But like, I'm just like, man, it was just deflating to go from Cat just not missing a shot, and then to what I saw there, and then I had no idea it could get even worse to this piss poor dunk contest, and like, it doesn't help. It doesn't help that the guys that come out to the dunk contest are just, you have to Google some of them. You got this dude for the Golden State Warriors. It looked like a third of it looked like a third of this dude's name is a pasta dish. So with Toscano Anderson, and then like but you're right, man. I mean, I think the biggest thing that hurts the dunk contest, aside for you can't get the big name guys out there, is it's you can't. We've seen. It feels like we've seen everything. The thing I was just thinking is, you know what? The next thing is, a dude needs to just go out there with a baby in his left arm, in his non-dominant arm, carry that baby, palm the ball with his other hand, and just do the simplest dunk with a baby in his hand. Because we just got to figure out, different things, because we've about seen everything. Some of the dunks you see are like, there's tributes to, well, yeah, can you do the Vince Carter? Can you do MJ from the free throw line? Can you do some of these things? So now you just at a point where it's just gotten so silly. I ain't gonna lie to you, and I appreciate you for letting me know that that's how they do it in New York and in the northeastern part of the country with the Timbs. But like when I saw the dude put on Timbs, I was like, all right, man, well, that's new. I mean, at least that's new. I haven't seen someone do that at the dunk contest. But the fact that like you just have to suffer through so many. I mean, this Jalen Green thing, like I haven't seen the Rockets all year. I haven't seen Jalen Green play before, and that was not a great first impression. Like you in the dunk contest, and you just like, what's he doing? Throwing the ball off the side of the backboard or whatever. And and I think what hurt him is he's relying on somebody else to throw it up. So like he got to practice it at him and like, okay, do it again. Okay, that's the right height. Okay. And it just never happened. And it just like, I don't know how many attempts, like, it better than me from watching it, year in, year out normally.
Too many. Too many.
Too many. Too many. And just like it has to be a cap on how many, attempts you can try of one dunk. Because look, if you didn't get it the first couple of times, you probably ain't going to get it. You got to move on to something else. And he just stuck with that for so long. And it's just like, the judges got to be over there like, some of them dudes are old, man. Dr. J been around for a long time. He probably ain't got time for this, and it's getting a little late out here. So you have that going on, and just all of them. It didn't feel like nobody stood out. I think what really hurt was nobody got a 50. I don't feel like you never had a moment where you never had one dunk at all get completed to where it just felt like the house, came down and the crowd got crazy and all the players was jumping up and it was just. Oh man, look at what we just saw. You never had a moment like that. Even you can have a piss poor dunk contest, but at least like give me one dunk that like summarized the night, and that's where all the ESPNs and sports centers are posting about. Man, this was the night to cap it off. And Obi Toppin, I think he was runner up last year. I think he's great for this event, and he was like felt a little lackluster.
Mm-hmm.
So, and the event's bad. When the broadcast crew is like, man, that was a good 3-point shootout. Man, you see the skills challenge? That was good, man. That tells you all you need to know.
Let me tell you something about TNT. Let me tell you the difference between TNT and ESPN. ESPN would have been like, oh, yeah. They would try to gloss it up. Yes. TNT ain't going for it. TNT going to tell you, listen. That was terrible.
And that's why TNT, outside of Mike Breen, Jeff Van Gundy, and Mark Jackson, is the best thing smoking for NBA coverage. Because they keep it real. They don't care. You see all the memes. It's like, oh man, the dunk contest now, 10 years ago, 10 years before that, it's got like a camcorder and a flip phone, and then the smart. And then the other one was like, you see a picture of Shaq like 20 years ago, or whatever, and then Shaq in this event, he's just sitting there like, what is that? This is just terrible. Y'all do something already? All right, man. So at least you got some comic value of it, but I do think you're on to something as far as maybe switching the events around. I do, and the NBA's got to fix that at some point, and I think they will, because they tinker with their format more than anybody else. They always adding something, or they subtract something, or they change things up. We talked about it with the Rising Stars Challenge. You got four
Right.
teams. I think that's good.
The G
They did
League.
some the G League, adding those guys in. I thought that was great. The Skills Challenge. It used to be
Right.
a certain number of
It
guys
used
competing
guards
just one-on-one.
versus. It was like little man versus big man is how
Yeah,
they labeled
but
it.
now you have like
Yeah.
a group of three each. I think you'd rather maybe have it like a even number, do like four teams. So maybe have each team go through, and then the best two go in the final round, that type of thing. But the NBA, they always tinkering. So I think at some point, especially after this, Adam Silver got to get in there in the boardroom, be like, "Hey man, we got this. I don't know if you saw, but this dunk contest was I don't know, it wasn't quite it. We got to look at this, and we got to get a bit better." And I think they will. They're capable of doing that. And even so, the thing about the 3-point shootout, maybe you slide that to the back, and it's not going to bring the house down because like it's not high flying. It's just dudes shooting. But that's where the stars though. That's where the stars are though. So if the stars are in that event, and the dunk contest, it just ain't doing it. I think that is something you got to consider. As far as the actual All-Star game, I didn't watch it. I didn't watch the celebrity game. I didn't watch the Rising Stars, and I missed the Skills Challenge. Saturday night, I think is the big night. But so the Steph Curry with 16 threes and LeBron hitting. I mean, I think it's always much to do about nothing because nobody's playing defense. So I mean, you could do kind of whatever you want. If you're Jokic and you put up 10 points and Embiid gets 36, that's kind of something. It's kind of like in summer league. I don't care how well you play, but if you played poorly, then I'm looking at you like this. You're supposed to perform in this. What is it? The last thing I just have to say real quick, and like far be it from me to give fashion advice, but I swear some of these dudes come out here and I'm like, who dressed y'all? These guys make millions upon millions, and it just feel like I don't even know. I just can't even describe. Like, what magazines or what are y'all looking at that just make y'all think like, and the dude with that this is like separate from that point, but like the other part of the dunk contest that's a problem is everything's got to be a prop, or it's got to be somebody's got to stand in front of me and I got to jump over them, and I don't even jump over them. I use them as like leverage, and I can't get all the way over them. You should put somebody a little bit shorter out there, and it'd be more impressive. But then you got to do wearing a phone around his neck. I don't know what that was about. He probably got a lot of footage of missed dunk attempts, is what you had, and the crowd just. The swell of the crowd and just the noise. They couldn't get the cheering out because you couldn't finish the dunk. So, the dunk contest got to be looked at. I hope they redo it. They look at reordering some things, change the format. We can't be doing 6 attempts of the same dunk. But all in all, look, the All-Star Weekend is a show. It's a celebration. The 75 anniversary thing, I thought that was great what you was describing. I'm sure it was great to see. But look, regardless of how I feel about it with the game and everything, it's still much better than what the baseball and the NFL has. So they can always take solace in that.